What are the structures of the Igbo spiritual system? What structure do we have that exists in place? I'm going to go through 5 of the structures, 5 of the key aspects of these principles or forces that creates a sort of cosmic structure for Igbo within the context of our Igbo spiritual system. Now, before I start, I'll just tell you a simple story, about a man who he's very much interested in Christianity. To him, anything that you're talking that is not about God, within the Christian sense, Christ, about righteousness, about heaven, that's it. You're not making sense to him. So in one of our conversations, he said that without Christianity, the Igbo race will be confused because we don't know which God or gods to worship. And it comes from the fact that each community within an Igbo have their own separate deities, have their own communal deities and communal, gods. Even within the lineages, even within the community, you have your own community deity. You also have your own lineage deity. This is where the concept of it comes into play. And I think the error here is that he used the term worship, but more or less in our ancestral spirituality, we venerate, we acknowledge. So it wasn't a thing about worship per se, but it's about acknowledging and venerating them through communal lens. But he said that, without Christianity making everything to be harmonized by creating a central God, which is God within the Christian sense that most Igbo people worship, but without it, we would have been confused. Now, let's look at the structure of our spiritual universe to know if there is any sort of truth to what he said or not. So, first of all, Igbo spirituality is layered. Igbo spirituality is filled with different levels of cosmic or cosmological interactions. We have the Chi, we have the Ndi Chi, we have the Ihesomado Biowa, where things like Din Miri, Wunyen Miri, Ndi Otu, all of them comes into play. But all of them are practically personalized. Chi is personalized, Ndi Miri is personalized, Awu is personalized, the Ikenga is personalized. The kind of Ikenga, the kind of Chi, the kind of Awu that I'm going to have as a human being will not be the same thing for you. So you see that Igbo spirituality, first of all, it talks about you as an individual. It focuses on things that surround you. This is why they call it Ife Sogi Webiowa. Accompanying spirit that comes here because their target is to aid you in fulfilling your cosmic purpose. Because to us as Igbo, the essence of living, the essence of being here is for you to fulfill a particular purpose. And after fulfilling that purpose, this is when your cycle of reincarnation could end and you can now become part of Ndichi because you've definitely fulfilled that purpose. But I guess this is what he did not understand about Igbo spirituality. But at the core, at the center of Igbo spirituality, what are those key aspects? Now we have Allah, we have Iwe, some call it Amadioha, we have Ndichi, we have More, we have Awara, and we now have Owa Mad. Now we're going to look at how all the meaning, interpretation, the function that they play, and the interaction between them and what glues them together. What we have here first is Allah. Now Allah exists as a moral authority. If you're familiar with Igbo, with Igbo spirituality, this should not be the first time that you're hearing about Allah and being in charge of moral authority, because this is where you have heard things like Nswana. Some people call it Ani, so Nswane, Nswala. Some people now tell you that Ananetibu Onyakaye Adihocha. When we say Ananetibu Onyakaye Adihocha, it is because of Anna being a moral authority. She preserves morality, she preserves moral laws, and in case you commit any form of taboo, it is still the cleansing of Ani, the cleansing of Allah that will get rid of any karmic debt or that will get rid of any cosmic consequences or punishment for you. So Ani, while she is the moral authority for us as Ndibo, we also know her to be in charge of fertility and balance. Fertility also veers towards nourishment. We plant to Anna produces and she gives back to us. Although when we talk about fertility in terms of biology, when a woman wants to procreate and she's not able, we talk about our value and but fertility in the aspect of nourishment, we give to Anna, we plant, and she gives us back. She produces for us. Now, it is believed that every action in the human world, every action, whatever you do, it is accountable to Allah. Allah holds you accountable. to it. This is the same way. When you want to swear, you swear with Anna. You remove your shoe or whatever you're wearing, you pull it off, and you swear. You connect with Anna. Anna bears you witness when you want to swear with Anna, with your legs solid on the floor and with an offer on your right hand. You can now swear and make declarations. Now, Anna holds you accountable because every action that you commit, you're committing it on Anna. Anything that you do, you're not hanging on the air to commit it. You have a solid foundation by standing on the ground or standing on something, but Anna holds you. So Anna is bearing witness to everything. So she has the authority to hold you accountable via the Igbo cosmological system. Now we also look at Nsala that each communities have. Now the essence of Nsala is basically to preserve life, dignity, and harmony. Every Nsala, you can even look at it as the constitution. Every country has a constitution that guides them. And when you commit a crime, you're going against the ethics, the constitution, and the police. The legal force are going to judge you. They're going to capture you, judge you, and imprison you. So it is that same mentality. It is that same perception. Now, those constitutions and country laws exist because they want to protect the life and dignity of their citizens. The same way Nsani exists because Anna, the community, wants to also preserve the life and dignity of their indigents. The second one here is Igbo or Amadioha to some communities. Now, Amadioha Igbo is known as the protector of cosmic order. This cosmic order that we're talking about is the cycle of life. When it is going to rain, when the dry season is going to come out, everything that is seasonal and balance and continuity. So these are the cosmic order: when to live, when to cry, when to die, when to continuity. It all falls under the jurisdiction of Igwe, and this is because Amadioha is related to the sky. So when we talk about the sky, we see that when the weather is changing, the sky also changes with it as well. Now, Allah and Igwe are known as a cosmic couple. Both of them are the foundations of duality, which is man and woman coupled into meaning what existence. So Allah being the woman, Igwe becomes the man. Now both of them, the copulation of the both of them leads to existence, leads to the existence of we, the human beings. Now in combination, both of them protect moral order, they protect grounding, and they also protect continuity. Now we also have Abara. Now Abara refers to the universal forces that exist as pure energies. Pure energies. This is because they don't have any, should I say, origin story. Okay, they have a myth that we call, okay, this is how they came about. When we talk about how the Igbo creation story, every other activities, how she cried when she was mourning the passing of his wife, every other thing in between. An example of this Abara, we have Ekwensu, we have Oshimiri, we have Ubu. They all don't, they are pure energies. Now they are unseen spiritual laws and forces of nature that govern this universe. Now think of Abara as a raw extension of divine power, energy, and forces that cannot be confined within a single location. Now this is what differentiates Abara to Alose. While Alose can be localized in the sense that Alose could be instituted within a community. Now its jurisdiction, the jurisdiction of that Alose is within that community and that community alone. It will not function outside of that community. Whatever hold or taboos also that deity has, it only concerns those that are within its community. Outside of that community, that's Alose does not really make sense to outside of those, because the next community also have their own deity that they're also worshiping there. So while Abara, it's sort of it's universal, it exists without boundaries. Alose is localized within a particular region. So this is what differentiates Abara from Alose. We also have Ndichie. Now, unlike the popular perception that every person that dies, every ancestor that dies becomes an Ndichie, it is not true. For somebody to become an Ndichie, first of all, you must have lived and fulfilled your cosmic purpose. Via our cosmology as Igbo, it is believed that there is a purpose to our reincarnation. There is a purpose to our existence. And because there is a purpose to our existence, you have to be able to fulfill that purpose. Now, when you fulfill that purpose, it now means that you are ending or closing your reincarnation cycle. Now, I look at this cycle as the reason why we keep on reincarnating is because we are not just searching or longing to fulfill that purpose. But we are here to grow our consciousness aka, and we grow them through experiences, but our consciousness keep living and reliving, keep learning and unlearning until it has grown its consciousness to a cosmic capacity that it could now transform into something different. In this case, Ndiche. Because when you become an Ndiche, you now become an intercessor. You now become a cosmological being that people are going to call on to seek for wisdom and guidance. Now, if you've not achieved a certain level of consciousness, I don't think there is anything you have to give to your living descendants. This is why this system, you keep repeating, and not just you keep repeating, because you keep repeating means that you're living a form of righteous life. You're living a good life. You're not living a life that is filled with wickedness. You're not going to live a life that is filled on greed, envy. You're living a life that is worthy of emulation, because these ancestors, Ndiche, that we call on, they have lived a worthy life, which also makes them capable of judging their descendants when their descendants live a sort of wayward, malicious life. But for you to become an Ndiche, you have to have lived a good and a righteous life and fulfilled your cosmic purpose, therefore transforming into a cosmic intercessor. Now, in Igbo ancestral veneration, Ndiche, we remember them through rituals of Idokwa Ndiche or Isite Ndiche. Contact your dibia or an elder person in your community, in your village, in your lineage, to perform this ritual. If your father is alive, it is his responsibility to perform these rituals for you, not your responsibility for your father to do. If your father is dead or late, then it is the responsibility of your eldest brother. If you're the eldest son, it falls on you. If you don't want to do that as eldest son, you can delegate a younger brother that wants to do it on your step. But generally, it is meant for your father, the eldest man, and to you in some of these cases. To have more. More refers to the non-physical beings and forces that cannot see, but we feel them, we feel their presence, we feel their existence. They are non-physical forces or beings. Now, some of them are neutral, they just exist. But some of them, they attach to places and people, and they can be disruptive, they can cause problems, but generally we believe that these more spirits, they are capable of influencing the human existence. It could be subtle, it could be through signs, it could be through emotions, it could be through dreams, and it could be through disturbances. Even Alose falls under this category of more, because sometimes Alose na baike and Alose babike onye so disturbances, because I might say more and you might just maybe believe it's just ghost, but Alose also follows. So all these are more, they are the non-physical beings and forces that can cause disturbance. And but the point here is that them disturbing is because they are trying to get a message across. For instance, if your lineage had a deity that was destroyed during the time of the early missionaries, during the time when Christianity was coming up and people were destroying their ancestral shrines, forgetting about some deities, a deity could begin to disturb. And the reason why it is doing that, it is because it wants you, it wants something from you people. So I say, go and make peace with this deity. Now the Libya is going to guide you on the process on how to do it. So, but basically what I'm trying to say is that when a deity, it is for a purpose, and it is trying to get you to act on something particular. Once you do it, all matters are solved. Now the final structure is Owa. This is where everything converges, because human beings, we are at the center of the spiritual universe. We are the center of it all. And because we carry the duty of carrying on the lineage responsibility, offering sacrifices that amplifies the energies of these more, and also serve as a means to remember the deceased. Now, because of the responsibility that we, the human beings, carry, it makes Owa the center of the Igbo cosmological universe. Without Alowa, without Owa, without Owa Mado, all those things they no longer exist. And this is why in my community we have a saying, when a deity, a primordial deity in my community, when she was making a lot of demands. So I think the context of the story is that Nnewi people did something that offended her, and she left Nnewi to her maternal home. Not her maternal, she went back to her father's house at Nnobi. You get, when she left Nnewi began to have issues that pointed that Edo has left us unprotected. Now, the people of Nnewi, the elders of Nnewi, gathered together and wanted to appease her, to beg her essence to come back to the community, and she refused. She instead was making demands. You will give me this, you will give me that, you will give me this, you give each demand she keeps making. The community kept on giving it to her. She asked for a popular market, we gave it to her. She asked for this, we give it to her. At some point, her request became too much for the community to handle. And this was when a strong man from my community said, "What a mother stayed in one navy," which inferred to that. Why is she making all these demands? Are we not the people that asked her to collect it? That she's now doing too much. She should calm down. You get that's what history was trying to infer, which also results to what our ancestors said. So that was the same thing. That's the power that we the human beings have. We have the power to amplify. We have the power to reject these deities. We have the power to say we don't want you. We'll destroy whatever she ran. We'll still not leave our community. And it is something that we do. So yeah, that's it. Now, how does all those things interact? What is the interaction between them? Now, all aspects of this Igbo spiritual structure functions as an organic whole. Now, while I said that, no, we human beings, we are the center. Yes, we are the center, but we are part of a whole. Without more, there'll be problem. There'll be imbalance. Without, if Allah is offended, there'll be imbalance. If indeed she withdraw, there'll be an imbalance. So each of the structures functions as an organic whole. It is together. Now this means that one aspect cannot function without the other. Hence, they are in constant interaction with one another. Owa interacts with Alamo, Alamo interacts with Alamado. It's a two-way street. And we could look at this as how the human organ, the human body function. If the neurons, the nerves are no longer sending signal to the brain, there is a problem. If any part of my body has an issue, there is going to be sort of a disorientation or imbalance in how I function. If I have a stroke that paralyzes me, then you will see that my body, I would be functioning improperly. So it is the same way. Now, what grounds us? Because we have to have like a center, one thing that glues us together, and that is morality. Morality is a huge thing within the Igbo spiritual structure. Without morality, we are doing too much. Without morality, it cannot even happen. So this is why when I see what most people are doing is correct, I'm like, here is the moral principle. Why are we not obeying the moral principle that holds us together? So morality is the glue that holds the structure, this system together. Now, when morality is kept, then there is balance. The ancestors are going to do their job by protecting, and Abara would also give us the support that we need in the Abara. Then Owamado in return would thrive. But when there is immorality, when the moral order is broken, then it results to imbalance. Indeed, she would now withdraw their support, and at the end of the day, chaos erupts. Everywhere will be chaotic. That'll be problem. Now, the good news here is that we have the system of Ebwar as a way of cleansing, any impurity. Ibwalo is a system that cleanses, that helps to appease Ajani, that helps to appease the Ndichi. And it depends on the kind of taboo arrow that a person committed that created this imbalance. The extent of the immorality would now determine the kind of arrow that would be used to conduct this appeasing system. And at the end of the day, it is going to restore alignment, because we need to understand that punishment was never the goal. When there's an imbalance, when there's a misalignment, punishment is not the goal. The essence is to restore balance, and it could be restored when an imbalance occurs. Restoration rituals through a warrior, and at the end of the day, balance is being upheld and balance is being restored. So I'm going to stop here, and if you have further questions, you can jot them at the comment section, and subscribe if you want to come back to this channel. We talk about Igbo spirituality, Igbo culture, and whatnot. And we also sell this merch. If you want to get any of these t-shirts and tote bags that have Igbo aphorisms and Igbo proverbs, or you want me to customize it to your taste, you can always send me a DM, or you can call me. And you can also follow my Instagram. I'm very active. I write a lot of articles on Ordinary. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you are missing out. So you could follow me here, and you can follow me on TikTok, and you can also follow me on Facebook. And I also like you to engage on my posts. It also helps to give me support, because when you engage, I get motivated and I get ideas to talk about, because when you engage, I know where you're lacking, and if I'm knowledgeable in that aspect, I'll make a video on it. Now, until next time, Yagasi, have a wonderful day ahead.